It's just like Ben Affleck's, there he is again. He's sad. Him and J-Lo must be breaking up.
Yay Networks.
Hey guys, episode 46.
Creeping up on 5-0.
I know. Leighton, our youngest, who's 5, he just graduated preschool yesterday. And I did not think that I would get emotional. And like when he walked by, because it's his second time around. You know, we held him back, not held him back, but he was a repeat because he's younger. And I don't know why. I got super emotional.
I did too.
I
always do. Yeah, I always do. When they were singing, because the songs, they sang 3 songs, right? And the teachers did a great job of preparing the kids, you know? But like the words that they were saying, you know, like made me cry.
And then I don't know, like when he was at his last graduation, he was shy and quiet. And then this time he had like the hand movements going.
Yeah.
He was more confident. And I was like, oh, he's like older. And then too, I was like, this is the last time we're going to walk in here. We've been going to the preschool since 2019. And I was like, all right, that chapter is closed, but I'm really excited for him for kindergarten. It's such a good kindergarten group going in. I know his teacher. He got Lawson's teacher from the year before, and Leighton's with his friends. So I think he's just going to blossom in kindergarten.
And to have them at the same school is going to be convenient.
I am going, because Lawson, I can drop off at the front. Leighton, it's like I had to carry this big old bag because they have to take naps still. And that's one thing, Leighton, I'm like, no more naps anymore. Like, you're going to miss those, because Leighton's like me. He likes his naps.
You know, it's funny, like, because I'm at work, so Jordan drops off the kids and picks them up. But sometimes I have to do that if she has an appointment or something. But like the drop-off line and all that stuff, it's real. You know what I mean? Like, people make fun of that, like in movies and stuff. And even when I pulled in this last time, I'm like, Lawson, you got to help me out. Where do I go? And he's like, Dad, you either got to stop here or you got to keep going. And like the people are waving you, and I'm like, do I drop them off here? I know.
And if you get out, because I got out of my car one time, I got in trouble. They were like, you cannot do that. And I was like, oh, sorry. But I was picking up the neighbors' kids, and I went to go open the door to help them move along. And they're like, you can't get out of your car. I was like, oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, there's a whole, it's fun. People have been making fun of that forever, you know, like in movies and stuff.
Jay Cutler I don't follow him, but I saw him on my search. It was really funny one day. He was in Carpool picking up his kids, and he was doing this whole funny little bit about carpool moms. And this was months back, but it was really funny because he is very dry to me. Yeah. So, and kind of sarcastic. So it just, I don't know, it just made it like more funny.
Did you ever see the movie Mr. Mom?
Mr. Mom, no.
Yeah, with, oh my God, what's his name?
Who?
Keaton, Michael Keaton.
Oh, no.
It's like an old movie, but it's so funny.
Once you said Michael Keaton, I was like, it's got to be old.
Michael Keaton's still around.
Because every movie I think of him in, he was like Batman in 1991. Yeah. You know? The only movie that I can think of that I watched of him that I might have been, I don't know, like 12 or something, was Jack Frost. That's the last movie I remember him in, and I was like a kid.
He's still working. I think he did that McDonald's.
I know, but I just think of him
or that movie.
Like old, like
you know what? Michael Keaton's underrated. He's a great actor. He's a very
good actor. I wasn't putting him down.
But when you think of great actors, his name really doesn't come up, right? I don't know. Really. But the movie is, his wife, he loses his job, and his wife has to go to work, and he's around to do all the stuff. It's like a role reversal.
So he's a stay-at-home dad.
He's a stay-at-home dad, but it's just, when I watched it growing up, it was just a funny movie, but now I really get it. I think there's a carpool lane thing in there, and him taking care of it's just funny. Now maybe it's not so relatable because both parents kind of work, but there are still some like people who stay at home.
How do you think you would do as a stay-at-home dad?
I'd crush it.
I think you would crush it in the summertime. I think you would go crazy. I think if the kids were babies still, you didn't have the patience for it.
Well, maybe.
I
think you're right.
Good with babies, but you're only good with babies for a certain amount of time. Like if I had your old work schedule And I was gone from 6:30 in the morning till you wouldn't get home till what,
6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
Leighton was normally going to bed when you were getting home because he was a baby again. How do you think you would do all day by yourself?
I would do good. I think I would do good.
I don't think you'd have to. I think you would lose your mind because you wouldn't be able to work out. You are like one of those people that are like, I have to work out. If you don't work out, you get moody.
Yes.
But
I would make time. I'd make time.
How would you make time?
Baby's
napping.
Also, babies are more attached to their mom, just naturally, right? So that would be harder. You could do things. You have breasts, you know.
There's formula-fed babies.
All right, what are you doing?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I
think I'd do good. What do you think I would do? I would do good. And even now that they're grown up, especially now,
you
I would
be
crush
fine.
it. Yeah.
Because they're 5 and 7.
I'd get into the groove. I'd get the pickup line, drop off, boom. I'm a cook, so I make them good food. I'd be outdoors playing with them. I'd be tan like you.
Listen, I just started going outside. I just tan easy. You have a hard time understanding that. You think that I just like bake like I'm something about Mary, the old lady on there. I do yard work. I spray. I think I got sunscreen in my eyes.
That's the worst.
Can't you see my eyes are like water? I sprayed all this sunscreen on myself, and because I don't want to get burnt, but we are going to Palm Springs next week. So I'm trying to get a little bit of color. So today I was just sitting out there and I was in a tube top. I picked up Lawson from school and he goes, "Why are you wearing that?" I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Why are you wearing that? Where are the straps?" And I was like, "It's a tube top." And I was like, it's like a romper. It's cute. I was like, I'm going to wear it like with my bathing suits. He was like, it's kind of weird.
Whoa, he's embarrassed.
Nobody saw me. I had my sunroof open. I looked like I had a tank top, but I was like, wait, he doesn't like it. What is he saying? Because he's used to seeing me like this, covered head to toe.
And you're getting some sun today. Now, every time I come home from work, you're in the driveway with the chair.
I love the driveway. No, but the sun, you need sun. Every day I go out in the morning when I wake up. I go out there today when I was writing down my notes. For 15 minutes, I go out there. They say it's good for you for the sun to hit you. You're supposed to walk in the grass barefoot. I've already talked about this, like all these things.
Did you do that?
I did not walk on the grass because you put all that seed down.
Well, next time you're walking in the grass, maybe put a lawnmower in front of you and you could take care of some business while you're out there.
But I thought you couldn't.
I'm just kidding. I know, you knew like
this stuff.
No, that was like 2 weeks ago.
No, you just laid new stuff because you said we had patches.
Yeah.
So that's
the
why
sod
I would have totally mowed.
Yeah, I know. You do take care of that.
I do like that. I enjoy it. You know what I want? But it's probably like $500 and I'm not paying for it. You know, like the blower that the landscapers use that you have to put gasoline in, and it's like a backpack, and you're walking around like blowing. That's like what I want. That's like a good gift. So like if you want to think about that.
What did you get Jordan for her birthday? I got her a leaf blower.
No, I love that.
You're obsessed.
Because
we have a powerful one. You just have to plug it in.
There's so many extension cords, and we have a very long driveway. And then I need 3 extension cords for the end of my driveway. But when it's all blown, it looks like so neat. Your yard looks crisp. It looks really nice. And then I want to go around my cul-de-sac. And I told my neighbors I would blow everybody else's, like around the cul-de-sac, get all those like rocks out.
You blow all the neighbors.
No, the neighbors would love me. It would.
You even just went right over your head.
I know. Well, that's why I stopped, because I was like, you got me. But yeah, so that's a good gift, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting old. I'm starting to feel like my dad. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm becoming my dad. Like, I'm outside all the time. I love, like, in the mornings, like, spraying. Like, I really want to get our lawn, like, perfect. And I'm really taking good pride in it. I think we talked about this already, because it's, like, my obsession.
But
and I want to make the bushes to grow, because we had 2 that were dead. We've talked about this. But it's a little therapeutic, too.
But I feel like our neighbors are the same way, and all 4 of us, like, if one of our yards looked bad, our neighbors would be like, wait, Ours is bad. We got to like
No, you're a loser.
do better.
If you don't take care of your yard, you're a loser.
Yeah, we can't have that. Me and my retired
pressure.
neighbor, we always walk. And as we're walking, I'm like, what? I don't know. I'm making up a name. I'm not talking about anybody specific. Like, why didn't Susie and them pick those weeds? That looks terrible in that yard. And he's like, I know. And then we walk past. I'm like, why didn't Ben pick up this? And I always will complain. I'm like, look at me.
Yeah, it's a judgment of your character if you have like a bad lawn, don't you think?
I think you look lazy.
Yeah, I mean, some people don't have time. I get it, right?
No,
but if you're choosing to neglect it, I judge your character.
I feel like the majority of people in our neighborhood hire people to do their lawns, hire people to do their lawns and to clean their house, and we're the opposite.
But our backyard isn't looking the best. And I'm trying to get seed. I'm spending hundreds of dollars at Home Depot. It's like,
Well, we're
come on,
getting
man.
there. We're getting there. We're trying. The front, it's looking amazing.
There's still some patches that I patched
No, but
up.
I know, but the front looks good. But
Enough about,
our yard,
yeah.
all these people are like, what are you talking about? Let's take a little break.
Okay.
And then I have a little something.
Oh, all right. I'm excited.
I first gave AG1 a try because of Jeff. Jeff sold me on it. And then
You're
my
welcome.
dad was here in town visiting, and I sold my dad. My dad goes, what is that stuff you always talk about? So I gave him some travel packs. And while he was here, he was here, 8 days?
Yeah.
And he drank it the whole 8 days. And he said he was going home and going to buy some. And I told him he could take a tumbler with him. And he goes, do I get that spoon with it? I go, the spoon is what tops it off.
Listen, AG1 is all about its ingredients in the product. But I got to tell you, the packaging, the spoon, the tumbler, everything that comes with it, you feel good. You feel good just looking at the product.
You do. And my dad has had some health issues.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be healthier. And he said he heard, a doctor actually referred one of his friends, was like, you should take AG1. It's good for you.
One of your dad's friends that he was talking to on the phone, he was selling them on AG1. And I said, you got to use our coupon code for sure. But for me personally, I love that it comes with vitamin C and zinc to support my immune system. And the number one reason I love AG1 is because it really, I say this every week, it really cuts back on my daily vitamin intake. And AG1 is the supplement I use to take care of all that.
For me, it's gut health. I know all your issues come from your gut.
Yeah.
And so I just want to all around, I can feel like since I've been taking it since January, I can tell a difference. I feel like when I miss it, like if I have a crazy morning and I just run out of the house, I feel like I know when I don't take it.
Yeah, it's the first thing I take in the morning, definitely AG1. If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's definitely AG1. And that's why I'm excited to have them as a sponsor on TogetherMess.
Yeah, I'm a diehard fan.
All right, you sold it. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packets with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/togetherness. That's MESS. That's drinkag1.com/togetherness. You got to check it out. You'll thank us later.
Welcome back. So, do you know your husband's passwords for everything? This morning, I get so annoyed because it's just like in the morning, it's normally hectic, and Lawson broke a water bottle and I was like ticked off about that. But I go to turn on, we have one of those robot vacuums because yesterday I vacuumed the upstairs. Nobody ever comes down to our basement, so I don't have to worry about that. And I love running we call our iRobot Foxy. That's the name of our.
Lawson named it. Because remember, you have to name it like when you register it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Lawson, what should I name it? And he said Foxy Bot.
So Jeff's the one that sets up this stuff. He sets that up. He set up like Disney Plus. He set up like Netflix, everything. So, when it's been on your phone for a minute, it automatically sometimes will log you out, probably to make sure for safety reasons. Make sure nobody has hacked into your account, probably things like that, right?
Yeah, I think I had to replace a part or something, and it went offline, and then I had to.
And then you
put in a
have
new
to log
password.
back in. I don't know any of the passwords. I don't know any of the passwords to the Foxy bot. I don't know the password to Disney Plus, Netflix, any of it. Jeff has all the passwords to everything. So this morning, I was like being Moody Jordan. I was being Haley. That's what people call me when I'm in my being moody. I was my second personality. And I was in the worst mood because all I wanted to do was put on that Foxy, and it said email and password. And I go and ask Jeff, I'm like, what's the password? Well, then Jeff couldn't remember the password, and then he had to reset it. And I'm like, if something happened to Jeff today, I don't know any of the passwords to anything.
Okay. Do you want to keep going?
No.
Because I have a
But
solution.
I'm just
That's pretty
saying.
easy.
No, but you set it up. But my thing is, why did you not make the password just easy? Make it something easy and something that you're going to remember. So then I'm not asking you for these passwords. Just make it all the same for like any of like these little apps. Make it all the same.
First of all, tone it down.
I hear what you're saying, but I take it
Use
like
your
this.
words. Okay. No, I totally get what you're saying. Okay, so as far as passwords go, I don't remember any of my passwords. And then like at work, our passwords, they make us change it once a month. And I don't even remember. I don't remember. There's so many. Everything requires a password that I don't remember. And unless it's just face recognition, I don't know what it is. Here's the solution. You might not know. Open your phone. I'm going to walk you through this. Okay?
No, I'm not doing it. It's to save your passwords.
No, just
on
look.
your phone?
Just look.
I don't
Go to
save
settings.
anything.
This is going to be helpful for people out there. Open your phone. If you have an iPhone, go to settings, scroll down to passwords. Okay? Open that up. It'll face recognition. You probably don't even have face
I
recognition
don't
set
put
up.
face recognition on mine.
Well, it'll combat some of the anger that you just displayed.
Okay. Password options or
Doesn't
security?
it show all your stuff?
No.
Okay, you need to fix that. This is all the passwords, okay? So if you go into my phone, all the passwords are there.
But what if somebody stole your phone? Then they know your password.
But they can't get in because it's locked. They don't know my password to get in or the face recognition.
Oh, because you have to.
Unless they murdered me and then they did it.
Oh.
And then what?
You're watching too many.
Then they're gonna vacuum our floor. They're gonna start Foxy bot. But all your passwords are in there. So if you ever forget your password, like I do all the time, that's how you retrieve your password.
How'd you learn
But you
that
got to set that up.
How'd you learn that?
I think someone taught me that, and I just recently found that out.
See, I don't save mine. I don't. But I know all my passwords.
See, I don't, and I repeat them. It said security recommendation. I have 220 things that I need to update, so my passwords aren't very secure.
That's yeah. All I'm saying is like the Netflix one, the Disney Plus. I don't need to know your banking one, but like the ones that I need for the kids when they're at home and I'm texting you and you're at work and they're like, "Why am I logged out?" I'm like, "Ah." I get so mad.
They're all pretty much the same password. I mean, I don't want to say, but you kind of know what they are.
I made like a super hard password.
You know what's funny? People have talked about this. Even people at home. It's not like you're a magician. You know, it's like your birth date or your kids' names or your address, and then, you know, you have to use a symbol. Why does everybody use exclamation mark?
I don't know.
Don't you always use exclamation mark
No,
or money sign?
sometimes the exclamation mark, it like I look at my well, I'm not even gonna say at an office I go to. It's always like a glitch, and I always have to call, and I'm like, why is that not working? And they say it's sensitive to that, so I don't even use that anymore. But
I have to reset my password like every time I log into something that I don't log into all the time.
I think
You know?
everybody
And
does.
like if you go to a doctor, like, oh yeah, open your portal or whatever. I'm like, here we go.
I just got a thing from Lawson School. It's like, be ready to log in the next couple months. And it was for something for parents, like to check your kid in, and you have to do it. And I ignored it until like the end of the school year. And the office person at Lawson School had called me and was like, you have to set this up. And I was like, dang it. So I set it up. It's like this portal for the parents. And I already forgot. I forgot my username. I forgot my password. And it's like a whole thing for the school. Now I'm like, it's going to be a whole nother thing trying to figure out what my username and password is. It's so hard.
I know. And then you got to send yourself an email and all this stuff. And then why is the suggested password 89 letters long with the XYXZ-5? Like, that's what they
That's
suggest.
like when you have new internet, like if you get Xfinity, if anybody has Xfinity and they look on your router and you're like, what's that? My password to the internet? It's like 30, it's like XYZ2356712. It's so long.
Because you got to think about how many boxes they're giving out.
I know.
You know?
My dad used to do that he's probably changed it because I got on to him about it. But I'm like, Dad, are you serious? This is your password? Just make up something. Like, I can't be typing this in. This is confusing. But my dad speaking of my dad, he came here and stayed 8 days with us. And Big Sexy always gets sad to leave. He loved it. I'm like, we didn't do anything and the weather was terrible. He's like, oh, I love just like being here and like your neighbors and everybody's fun. He's like, it's a change of scenery.
Well, it's nice. Like, I mean, obviously we have a big house and our basement is all of our old apartment stuff. So it's like an apartment down here.
He
And
always
people get
says
their
that.
privacy and they don't, it's not like they're in your space. So usually, they say is it 3 days or 4 days, like fish? That's how like having company is. You ever hear that?
I don't want anybody staying longer than 4 days. I'm done with you.
What's up?
after
You
4
didn't like my
days.
analogy? You ever hear that analogy?
No.
You ever heard like having company?
I know what you meant though. I've never heard of that.
It starts to stink after like 4 days.
Oh, no, I haven't heard of it, but I know what you meant.
All right, you just breezed over it. I thought it was pretty good.
Well, after 4 days, if company comes, if you're listening and you come to our house, you're gone after 4 days.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's what I was just saying because now people have their space down here.
Well, my
you know?
dad doesn't bother me. He's not like, when he's here, it's not like I have to entertain him. We both like the same thing and we both like our space. And if he gets tired of us, he comes down here and does his own thing. And he's working too. And for me, I go upstairs. Like,
it's harder when you have to entertain, right? If they have kids or something, they're like, all right, so what are we going to do today? Like, what's on the list? I'm like, what's on the list?
yeah, no.
Of things to do. Like I could, I'll have fun and party on the weekend and stuff. But then when it comes back to the week, I got to get back in my routine, like I want to work out and like, I got to take care of me too.
Well, normally I'm like, here's the keys to my car. If you need to go somewhere, drive my car somewhere because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's when it gets hard. That's when I think it gets hard, if people are in for a long time and they want to do something every day.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Like my brother, when he comes, he's great. He just takes my car and he comes back and is like, I got a Starbucks. And like, that's like his running. Or I'm like, I don't want to go to the grocery store, Peyton. He's like, I'll go for you. And he'll just take my car and just go. And I love it.
Your brother's up so early and he's so chatty.
He will drink till like 2 a.m. and then get up at 5:30. I'm not even joking. Like as if he was never drinking. And he's just, but that's how.
And he's like, hey, what's up, yo-yo? It's like 7 in the morning.
When I
I'm like,
was
"Dude, what are you
dating
doing?"
you, I remember being like, Jeff's like so moody and in the mornings, like when we were dating, because I was so used to my family being like, hey, and so happy in the morning and so chatty. And you were just kind of,
Yeah, I'm not really.
a grump
I'm not really.
in the morning.
I'm not really a morning person.
No, you're not.
Well, I like to just like I said, I gotta, sometimes you have to be a little selfish and take care of yourself. And I like to get my stuff done, work out, get my breakfast, and then you know what? Then I'm good. Then you want to have a little convo over some eggs? Let's talk.
No, because then in the afternoon he's watching Vanderpump or something. You're obsessed.
Yes.
Okay.
Or 48 hours.
Oh gosh, that's like all you and my dad watch. All right, we're taking a break, and then Jeff has something.
Oh, just a little relevant topic that we're gonna touch on and get our opinion.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. School is almost out. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling less stressed. I've been really stressed out these past couple of weeks because Lawson has had 4-day practices, games on the weekend. I mean, it's non-stop with sports, with school, with Leighton stuff. Leighton's done. He graduated preschool, so I got that stress out of the way.
And he's done with lacrosse.
Yes. But during that week, when we were crammed with all of this stuff going on, the weather, it was rainy and cloudy, and I felt so depressed. My moods are really affected by the weather. It's sunny today. I'm in the best mood ever. Like I could just talk to everybody.
But that's not always the case for everybody.
Exactly.
And that's where BetterHelp comes in. We all carry around different stresses, big or small, whether it's practice or something bigger, and we all need someone to talk to. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. That's very important.
I am somebody who struggles with anxiety. I have really bad anxiety, and I was at my doctor's office the other day, and I told her, I said, how do I turn my anxiety off? And she told me therapy. She goes, you might need therapy and talk to somebody.
Yeah, talking through whatever's going on in your life is, I think, the best form of communication to help your stress. And if you don't have a family member or a close friend to get something off your chest, that's where BetterHelp comes in. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule.
So all you have to do is just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with the licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. I think that's so important. With Jeff and I did a little bit of therapy with Marriage Boot Camp, even though it was televised. They are real licensed therapists, and that we felt so much better after crying, getting it all out. And you're like, I feel good.
And finding the right therapist that fits you is very important. And my favorite part of BetterHelp, you could switch for free anytime. You could switch therapists for free at any time. You want me to do this part?
Get it off. Okay.
Yeah.
Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/togetherness today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/togetherness. Welcome back.
Okay, so, we're starting to kind of make this a thing like, that we talk about something that we talked about on Daily Blast Live a little bit.
Or hot topics that are going around on social media.
And this is a hot topic that's been going around. So it's Thursday. Again, we film these things a little bit early. It's Thursday. You guys are going to get this 6 days later on Wednesday. But this is a hot topic that came out today, and it's about Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. So a lot of people might not even know who that is.
I have no idea who he is. I'll have to Google him.
Right. They won the Super Bowl this year, right? He's a good kicker. And besides,
I only know 2 people on Kansas City Chiefs, and who are those people?
I think everybody. Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes, right? Or Taylor Swift. Travis Kelce.
And I didn't
oh my
know
God,
who
we talk about him so much. That's how I slipped. Yeah.
Travis Kelce and the other guy, Patrick Mahomes. Those are the only 2 people that I know from the Chiefs. Do you think people on the Chiefs are like, hey, what about me? They're like overshadowed?
Maybe.
Or do you think they like that attention? I would almost be like, I play for a great team. We always make it the Super Bowl. I don't need the attention. And I would just collect my checks and stay quiet.
Well, I think they get a lot of attention, pro athletes anyway. But if they're at this is so obscure, I don't know if this happens, but if they're like at their little girl's party or something, they're like, my dad plays for the same team as Taylor Swift's boyfriend. It's like it might, even if they don't know football, it puts them in another category of why they're famous, Or,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think maybe they like that. They got more fans, a lot more eyeballs on them because of Taylor Swift this year.
It's true.
So maybe they like it. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
Continue what you were going to say.
Right. So yeah, he gave a commencement speech for Benedictine University, I think in Kansas, if I might be incorrect on that. I think it's the right university. But it's a Catholic school, a very Catholic school. And he's very Republican Catholic, staunch guy. And some of the things that he was saying in there, a lot of people are upset about. So you got to look it up. But basically what he was saying is that, women, he was saying women, now this is a great time in your life because now you're able to start a family and you could become a housewife and support your man at the home.
Okay.
Right? Which is a kind of a weird thing to say when you're given a commencement speech at a university after working 4 hard years to the career that you want to have. And he was kind of saying, now is your time to become a housewife. That was kind of weird, right? But that's kind of like the very typical, not typical, but like maybe old school.
Yeah. Traditional.
And some other things that he said about the LGBTQ community, you know, like about celebrating a whole month for them. So he wasn't really for that either. But, you know, there's some other things that he said in there. You look it up in detail if you want to. But my take on it was that we had a tag board poll saying, should he lose his job? And there's a petition out with over 100,000 signatures saying he should be fired from the NFL. And the NFL came out with an apology saying, we don't condone what he's saying or anything like that. So my take on the show was, and again, this might be controversial, I don't support what he said in any sort of way, but I do support your freedom of speech. I really do support that. Even if you don't agree with it, I think people need the room to say what they want to say, even if you don't agree with it. Because I think if you silence people, that's where we start running into problems. I think that's a problem with our culture and society today. Everyone wants everybody silenced. Everybody wants to take people's jobs. I don't think his job should be taken away because his thoughts or beliefs. I don't think, you know, I don't know if the league, the NFL necessarily needs to apologize on his behalf.
I don't think the NFL has to apologize on his behalf.
That's just that's my take on it, because I'm not for this cancel culture. Again, I'm not for what he said, but when we start silencing people and just go, the first thing you do is take someone's job, I don't agree with that. And I gave the example on the show today. What if someone was in the Muslim culture, right? And some of those cultures require their women to cover up fully and to walk 5 steps behind them. So if you hire someone in that culture that you might not necessarily agree with their culture, but it's their way of life, you need to apologize on their behalf, or they need to be fired from their job because of their culture, and that's how they're raised and that's what they believed in. Even if you don't think that's right, don't you think there should be some room for flexibility of thought, even if it's bad thought? I'm not saying hate speech, but I'm saying, like, you know what am I digging myself a grave here?
No. I think everybody should be able, like you were saying, free speech. I think because there are people out there that probably agree with what he says.
For sure, and there is. And he got a standing ovation, and like between his takes on things, like after he said the woman thing, there was like an 18-second applause.
But what I don't understand, what does the gay community have to do with what he was talking about? Why was he talking about
I don't think he believes in that, obviously. He doesn't believe in like homosexuality or things like that. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I believe that's what he offended the gay community by. Because I think a lot of people who really believe word for word in the Bible, they don't believe in like the LGBTQ stuff, you know?
But if you're giving a speech
at a Catholic university.
But isn't the point to motivate you and make you feel inspired to go out and crush your dreams? Isn't that what the point of having a speaker is?
Yeah, and it was well received. It was, the people gave him a standing ovation. It was well received at that university.
I haven't even seen the clip, so I need to watch the clip because that's confusing to me. Like, why throw that in there? But also, what doesn't make sense to me either, it's women went to the college and are graduating, and they probably went there for careers and got their degrees, and then they're not thinking about, but if they do become a housewife, great. But they're probably not thinking about being a housewife. They just got their diploma and graduating college. They probably want to continue on with whatever their career is. And then there's other people who just need to finish college so they have that diploma and they want to start a family right away, which is fine.
Right, but that's the whole point of the argument. That's why we're discussing this.
I know.
Because it seems weird. And then there's probably some gay people that were graduating too.
That's what I'm saying.
Which was probably offended by his comments, even though they're at a Catholic university. Maybe they haven't come out yet. Maybe this is putting more fear in them to come out. You know, it's not supportive of anything. That's the whole point of the conversation, right?
Yeah.
But my thing was, if that was well received in that university, again, don't agree with it, but it's his right, I feel like, in freedom of speech to say what he needs to say, because there are people out there that believe in what he said.
There are people that say stuff all the time, I feel like, if I don't agree with it, but I would never be like, they need to be silenced, they need to lose their job. I'm like, I just don't agree with what they say.
Well, don't you know, like back home, like especially like Southern Christians, Southern Baptists that don't believe in being gay because it says that in the Bible, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
Right.
A couple people.
But it's weird because the Catholic Church, the Pope came out, I don't know if this was last year or recently, not too, in the recent past. Then he said that, everyone from the LGBTQ community is welcome into the Catholic Church. And that wasn't necessarily the case in the past.
I think it's just the times are changing. I think it depends on
I know we're kind of skating around this because we're not part of that community or anything, but I am Catholic, not like a super practicing Catholic, and I believe everyone should be welcome into that. I don't believe in what Harrison Butker said, but again, I keep repeating myself. I do believe in freedom of speech, and I think we're missing that. I think when someone gives you an opposing point of view, right? Everyone wants diversity and equality, but as soon as your opinion differs from mine, you want to take my job. That can't be the case. We have to work things out in society, especially with our politics now. If you're on the right side or the left side and someone opposes that, they want to call for your job and you shouldn't exist. That we can't have that. I'm really against that point of view. I don't
think he should lose his job. I mean, he was giving it at giving a speech at a Catholic school. And like I said, I'm all for everybody. I'm all for like what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
Free speech. Because like I said, you might not agree with it, but there's people that give speeches all the time that I don't agree with what they're saying. But I'm not like attacking them or writing things on Instagram. It's like I said earlier, I just don't agree. I'm like, I don't agree with their point of view, but I still listen because you might learn something from it.
Yeah. So like kind of going off of that, I was, every day when I drive to work, I listen to a podcast, or I'm starting this new Marcus Aurelius book, which is super fascinating. If you guys don't know, he's an old philosopher from I think 150 AD. I don't know, like it goes way, way back. But it's so weird how a lot of that stuff is relevant today. Like what he's talking about. I mean, he uses examples I don't want to try to quote Marcus Aurelius by any means, but if you're into motivation or trying to understand, I'm really into philosophy. I really am. I'm not a scholar or anything, but it interests me. And a lot of things that he talks about, you could put into play today, especially with my life, and the way things are. So that's helping me. I'm almost done with that book. But I was it's just weird because my mind, we kind of touched on this a little bit. My mind is I try to explain to people what I'm thinking sometimes. And my mind's like a math mind. I'm better with numbers than I am with words.
Yeah, you are good with numbers.
So, I'm trying to, this is kind of like when a comic goes out with new material the first time on stage. This isn't going to make sense, but I could tighten it up. But the word kernel, the word kernel, I don't even know how to spell the word kernel, right? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, numbers, this adds up to this. I'd rather do a Sudoku puzzle than a crossword puzzle because I don't know words and sometimes they don't make sense. I after E except after Y. I don't even, there's all these rules in there that I don't understand and my brain doesn't really comprehend that, but it understands hard numbers. So the word kernel, right? I'm not prejudiced towards the word kernel. I don't hate the word kernel in any way. You're kind of lost, and I'm sure everyone else is that too. That's the same application I put to things that I don't understand in real life. You see what I'm saying? Some of what's going on socially, I might not understand all that. The pronoun usage, my brain is I don't get completely what's going on here, but I accept it. I accept that the word colonel is spelled the way it is, even though it's crazy. I accept it. I don't hate it. There's no prejudice towards it. But in people's minds, just because you're confused about something or don't understand, they think you're bigoted towards it. Did that make any sense at all?
Yeah, I get it.
You look like just,
No,
you got
I
a
get
glaze in your face.
I have a glaze in my face because of the sunscreen.
Good. All right. I don't know. Maybe I went too deep there.
No,
I'm trying
I
to
get it.
figure out things in my own mind, right? And maybe I'm trying to be like Marcus Aurelius, and I'm just really bad at it. But
Trying to be inspirational.
no, I'm trying to figure out how to explain things in a better way, because my job is to talk about certain subjects like the Harrison Butker subject, but without offending someone. Because I'm not offended by a lot of things going on, right? I don't understand why people are offended, but I try to give like a different angle of why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I don't have hate in my heart towards anybody. And people might think that, like, if you see me, you think I'm a frat boy Trumper that doesn't support anything. That's not me at all. You know, like if you watch me on TV, people have that opinion of me, and that's not me. You know, I have friends of all ethnicities and backgrounds and communities, and I love everybody for who they are. I love travel. I love culture. I love meeting new people. I love people that are different. If everyone's the same.
Just give Jeff a couple drinks and he's like, doesn't shut up talking to strangers.
I love it. I really do. I
know.
love that form
I
of
know you do.
communication. It's lacking, and I love to meet people at an airport bar. I love to go to new cultures and not know what's going on, but respect what they're doing in their own culture and not try to offend anybody, you know. And if people were more like that just in the United States, trying to represent other people's point of view and be understanding of what they're going through, I try to do that. I think I need to work on that, right? Because I don't know what it's like to be a woman or to be gay or whatever else, you know, is going on. I want to understand that a little bit more. But a lot of people think I'm closed off from that, and I'm not.
Well, I think a lot of people these days just judge everybody just from looking at you, you know?
Of course.
Or like, oh, you've always had it easy just by, you know, looking at you.
Right. Exactly.
But and it's not.
And it's not. And I've worked very hard, and I've had struggles, and I had my ups and downs, and I have problems just like everybody else. So just to diminish what I'm thinking based on your judgment of me, and that at the end of it, your call for my job. I'm not trying to be malicious or hurtful in anything that I say. It's maybe my brain just doesn't understand fully, like the spelling of the word colonel, what's happening.
Yeah, people are just judgmental. I mean, we're not that way, but people are. And I mean, not everybody's going to get along. Not everybody everybody's going to disagree. And I think social media just makes it worse because everybody just debates and gets
What's a snap judgment? You see you see a headline, boom, snap judgment. Nobody gets any context to the story. It's just like Ben Affleck's, there he is again. He's sad. Him and J-Lo must be breaking up. Summer is in the air, and you know what that means. Plants are blooming, trees are sprouting, if that's the right word.
Jordan has a runny nose right now and watery eyes.
And that's part of it, right? Allergies are in the air along with everything else.
I've talked to a couple neighbors who have said, I'm been sick. I got allergies.
I actually woke up this morning and I had a little bit of stuffiness because our windows were open all night, and I actually used some Claritin D to help me clear it up this morning.
Ready to live a life as if you don't have allergies? It's time to live Claritin Clear. Fast and powerful relief is just a quick trip away. Find Claritin D at the pharmacy counter.
Ask for Claritin D at your local pharmacy counter. You don't even need a prescription, which is great.
Yes, because those prescription lines are so long. Go to Claritin.com right now for a discount so you can live Claritin Clear.
Use as directed.
I want to talk about this, changing the subject.
Anyways, just to put a cap on that, like silencing people isn't the answer. I think it's the opposite. I think communication with someone that you don't run into, if you live in...
I think the best thing is to talk to somebody that is the opposite of you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
To listening to their opinions. Again, there's people I don't agree with, or there's people that have different political views than me, but I listen to them. I respect them, and we don't fight and
Right.
learn from each other.
That's
And
kind of
what
my
you
whole
need
point to wrap that up, is that I think we need more communication, not less communication by silencing someone, but
People just
to
hear
talk to
something
them.
that they don't like and they're like, oh, hate that guy.
Fired.
That's the worst. You're done. Instead of even listening to the whole thing.
right. All right. So now before we go, you could give your take on the
Wait, no, my dad texted me today about this. He goes, I told you Ben looked miserable.
But I think we talked about this on the show
Ben
too.
Affleck doesn't want, he loves making movies, and I feel like he just doesn't want to be a part of like a Golden Globes. He doesn't care about going to Golden Globes. He doesn't care about going to, Oscars or the Met Gala. But J-Lo, I feel like, is more fancier and loves doing that stuff and they're just so opposite of each other.
Yeah, and if the media shits on Ben Affleck,
I know. I feel
you know,
bad for them.
so for him again, so the rumors are that they're breaking up as of Thursday, right? So next
I
week
hope
they
not.
might be
I
broken up.
believed in Ben and Jen.
Well, she went to the Met Gala. She wasn't there. He went to the Tom Brady roast.
But
She wasn't there.
That's he's so like a guy's guy. I feel, and he's from Boston. Why wouldn't he be at the Tom Brady thing? And then J-Lo, I can't picture her at the Tom Brady thing. It was so like, I don't know, just mid. And then the Met Gala does not seem anything like what Ben Affleck is interested at all.
And she was seen house hunting without him. But
Didn't they just buy like a $70 million mansion together?
like a $50.
I want to know what that feels like. I'm just going to buy this $60 million mansion. We'll just get divorced and I'm going to go buy another $60 million mansion.
Yeah, well, you get that thought.
I'd marry the wrong guy. Just kidding.
All right. Anyways, so we don't know if they're broken up. Well, maybe if they are, he's on the market. There you go.
Oh, no,
We
I
could
feel
swap up.
bad.
I don't mind hanging with J-Lo for a little bit.
J-Lo's pretty hot. A-Rod was an idiot. Getting rid of J-Lo. They were so cute together.
Who got rid of who in that relationship?
He was texting.
Oh, that girl from Southern Charm.
He was texting. You don't think somebody's going to show that? That's evidence. What are you doing?
Oh, boy.
And it's J-Lo. Like, that just proves. Like, I have always thought since I was, like, in high school. Remember that song, Waiting for Tonight? Oh. And she did Making the Video. And she looked so pretty. And she was just, like, glowing. And they put, like, these diamonds on her. And I remember being younger and being like, I want to look like her. Like, her body, to me, is, like, being super skinny is not cute. Like, her body, she's like an hourglass. I think she's just beautiful.
Yeah, but I think with being that talent and having that beauty, I think I talked earlier about kind of you have to be selfish in some way. I think when you need to sleep like 10 hours a day, I think she's got a schedule that she really sticks to. I think it's hard to keep a relationship when you're so kind of stuck in your own ways, and that might be being too disciplined for J-Lo. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
J-Lo. She's a total package, and she got cheated on. I'm like, what? How does that happen? How does she get cheated on with like a reality person? What?
You can't, you never know what's going on in someone's relationship. I have no idea.
I know, but I'm just like, she's like the top of the top. She's smoking, and she gets cheated on. I'm like,
What was that?
I don't know. I'm like, oh man.
Oh boy, here comes Jordan's anxiety kicking in.
No. I'm like, man, what's going to happen to all of us? But anyways,
Who's all of us?
all of us.
Women? Oh man. All right. Well, hopefully, I don't know, when this podcast comes out, hopefully they're still together. Maybe they'll be
I
broken
hope
up.
they're still together.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping Bennifer sticks it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was random. All right, you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Like I always say, thank you for continuing to listen, download, subscribing, tag your friends, and thank you for all of you who wrote nice reviews on the podcast app thing. I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. And if your kid graduated pre-K, congratulations to your little one. And yep, have a wonderful week. Anything you want to add?
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
All right.
Bye.